Good night and welcome to Benalmádena First English News broadcast. Digital Costa del Sol brings you every Friday all the information about this week's news. It is becoming increasingly difficult to reopen Tivoli World, and the workers have no news about it, which seems to indicate that the owners have no intention of doing so. The workers demonstrated last Friday to demand the reopening of the park.
Tivoli World is still closed, and last Friday the park's workers organized a rally to protest against the situation they are going through, asking for the reopening of the infrastructure. Tivoli has been in insolvency proceedings since August 2020 due to the request of the real estate group Tremont, which bought Tivoli in 2007 as part of a larger operation. The purchase resulted in a legal dispute over the alleged lack of payment, which has just been resolved in the Supreme Court in favor of the Tremont Group. Benalmádena's mayor, Víctor Navas, was present at the rally, accompanied by other members of the corporation, such as Juan Carrillo, Salvador Rodríguez, and Irene Díaz, among others. I consider the Supreme Court ruling to be positive because it finally clarifies who owns the park, making it easier for us as a local administration to try to ensure its continuity. Now Tremont has the responsibility to take over the management of the park, both with its debts and its profits, because Tivoli is still profitable, as was again demonstrated in 2020 when it opened for only 3 months in a context of pandemic, economic crisis and capacity restrictions, and still managed to achieve sufficient profitability to meet the operating cost for a whole year. The mayor highlighted that Tremont has not explained his intentions and attended to the workers. We know the same that we did 2 years ago. Tremont hasn't come to Benalmádena's town hall to talk about Tivoli and its future. Different lines of work were offered which have not been explored, nor have other alternatives been proposed, an extreme for which we do not want to blame either the administrations or Tremont, but we do need the will of the current owner, who must publicly explain what he is going to do with the park. If Tremont wants to open the park, they will count with us as an ally. If they don't want to open it and don't offer a reasonable explanation, we will look after the general interest. We understand Tivoli as an icon Costa del Sol tourism, and we've proposed urban protection for the land. He also pointed out that a letter sent by Tremont seems to indicate that reopening the infrastructure is not in their plans. In response to this modification, we received a rather harsh letter from Tremont because they understand that we have taken a measure that exceeds our competence, a statement with which we do not agree because the public authorities must put a stop to speculation. When the City Council has tried to protect Tivoli urbanistically, we haven't found an attitude that denotes a willingness to seek a solution. The figure of urban protection for the park that we are working on does not prevent the development of new commercial or hotel spaces. Tivoli could house a hotel or a shopping area, but everything must be linked to its continuity as an amusement park. Deputy Mayor Pablo Centella highlighted that with ownership issue resolved, it's time for Tremont to take a decision. He also stressed that the government team will not allow speculation with the plot having a use other than as a leisure park, and made a call in to support the mobilizations that the workers are carrying out, like the one they are organizing on October 22nd through the main streets of Arroyo de la Miel. Representing the trade unions were Lola Villalba from Comisiones Obreras and Estrella Salas from UGT. Villalba stressed that Tremont is making excuses for not opening the infrastructure and asked the public administrations for more support, highlighting the actions taken by the City Council. For her part, Salas pointed out that this is a perfect example of the problems caused by speculation and asked Tremont to show his face.
The Anica Torres Active Participation Center is undergoing a project to extend the facilities, which includes the construction of a new floor as well as new access and an open patio, among other things.
Benalmádena's mayor, Víctor Navas, Buildings Councilwoman Marisabel Ruiz, and Third Age Councilwoman Irene Díaz visited last week the improvements works at the Anica Torres Active Participation Center, a project that has been eagerly awaited by our elders. The mayor stressed that 75% of the work has already been complete.
Unas obras que superan el millón de euros de inversión.
These extension and improvement works have an investment of more than 1 million euros. It began in January, and we are aware that many have the perception that it is taking a long time, but any major work usually takes this time, and the project will finally be executed in 10 months. The perspective may be different because the center was previously closed for many months as a result of the pandemic. After a month's break due to a modification caused by the appearance of dams and the usual stoppage in August due to the holidays of the construction workers, the works are progressing well. They are already 75% complete. Navas valued the investment, pointed out that it was an important and necessary refurbishment that will be matching the environment aesthetic.
Todavía tenemos un mes por delante.
We still have a month to go for the finish, plastering and carpentry, so we believe that the work will be complete on time and on budget. This is a very functional project adapted to the environment and made with the most advanced and best quality construction materials, providing our elderly with a much more spacious, bright and pleasant space for recreation and leisure, thus meeting the increase in users during recent years. This is how we fulfill our commitments to Benalmádena's elders. We continue to work to improve the quality of life of our citizens. For her part, Díaz was very happy, stressing that this extension work is almost a reality.
Es una reivindicación histórica.
This project, so much in demand by our seniors, is now almost a reality. It was a historical demand of its users, which this government team decided to make a reality. We are very happy and excited about the final result. Although the works have not finished, the users of the Anica Torres Center still have activities during the beginning of the season. We have them located in Carola's Social Center.
The Asís Foundation has been in our municipality for 20 years, assisting people and families at risk of social exclusion. And last week, they received an institutional visit from City Hall to highlight new grants awarded to the NGO.
Benalmádena's Mayor Víctor Navas and Social Welfare Councilwoman Alicia Ladaga visited last week the Asís Foundation headquarters in Arroyo de la Miel to visit the facilities and highlight the work carried out by the NGO. Today we wanted to see first-hand Asís work, taking the pulse of Benalmádena's social reality after the pandemic that has caused a lot of poverty and unemployment. Asís is always in the front line helping the poorest and neediest people, both with registered residents and with people who lack documentation due to their immigrant status, helping to fill a gap that the administrations do not have the capacity to address. Asís will also receive another grant linked to the social housing project. Navas highlights this association trajectory after 20 years in the municipality.
Le vamos a conceder
Through Asesora 2021, Asís helps people who have difficulties in processing their documentation, applying for registration or residency, offering them certainty at a very difficult time. In the nearly 20 years that it has been working in Benalmádena, the Asís Association has worked with more than 6,000 users and their families, and that is why its work is so appreciated in the town, treasuring a very important social heritage, and that is why our obligation as an administration is to help them. Ladaga stressed the importance of the counseling program to facilitate access to information and care for these families or people at risk of exclusion.
Programa llamado Asesora 2021.
Through this grant of 15,000 euros, we are helping to support the Asesora 2021 program, which gives continuity to the activity that the association has been carrying out in the municipality since 2002, providing information and legal and employment advice to people at risk of social exclusion. The councilwoman thanked the association for the great work they do with users, helping them in almost all kinds of situations.
Sino también que se les brinda
From ASIS, they also provide them with computer classes, facilitating the necessary equipment so that they can carry out active job searches and support families by looking after their children while the parents work or look for employment. It is a comprehensive program that covers many situations, such as housing, as many people have lost their homes due to the crisis caused by the pandemic. On behalf of ASIS, we spoke with Eduardo Montoro, the NGO's technician, who thanked the town hall for the support they give to their work and stressed the need for support from public administrations.
Queremos darle las gracias al ayuntamiento.
We would like to thank the City Council for its commitment to the associations in the municipality. With this program, we advise our users on the rights, duties and needs, carrying out a case-by-case assessment of people in difficult situations. Thanks to the City Hall, we get a grant to support the association. We invite anyone in need to come to the association's headquarters on Paseo del Generalife. The ASIS Association continues its work creating activities and offering advice with the aim of achieving social integration and avoiding the social exclusion of the most disadvantaged. Another of the association's main objectives is to encourage young people to reflect and participate in society and to carry out international cooperation projects and programs.
The Mas Madera Cinema Club has been one of the many cultural groups that had to stop their activity due to the pandemic. Last week, they announced their return to action with their screenings at Casa de la Cultura.
Culture Councilman Pablo Centella spoke to the media last week at Casa de la Cultura to announce the return to action of the Mas Madera Cinema Club, which is returning to its usual activity after a short period caused by pandemic and is going so by resuming its screenings at Casa de la Cultura new auditorium. While maintaining the necessary health safety measures, we finally opened the auditorium with 100% of its capacity. Last Thursday, October the 7th, was an important day because the cinema returned to the Casa de la Cultura. Every Thursday, the public will again enjoy great films that in many cases cannot be seen in the commercial cinema circuit. A new season has arrived for this historic local club that has brought the seventh art to the whole municipality thanks to its varied and quality program, with films to suit all tastes. Its president, Enrique Garrido, reviews some of the titles to be screened this season.
El Cineclub Mas Madera comienza su...
The Film Club Mas Madera began its 30th season last Thursday, and next month it will be 30 years since its first screening, which was the film Amantes by Vicente Aranda. We have started the season with the screenings of the film Sentimental by Cesc Gai and The Farewell. Next week we will have El Olvido que Seremos, recent winner of the Platino Awards. He also highlighted the collaboration with other groups, such as those that take place during Flamenco Week or FICAP.
Colaboraremos con el FICAP, aparte de la programación.
We will again collaborate with the FICAP and will sponsor one of its awards. We will also participate in the Benalmádena's Flamenco Week by screening a film related to this genre, Menese, centered on the figure and life of this great cantaor. We will continue to maintain our line of work organizing daytime screenings for secondary school students, although we will not yet resume it these first months due to the pandemic situation. Its Vice President, Vladimir Moreno, pointed out that this year they are commemorating two very special centenaries for Spanish cinema. This year we will celebrate a double centenary, the birth of Luis García Berlanga and Fernando Fernán Gómez, which is why film expert Santiago Losada will visit us again to give us a lecture on Berlanga's life and work, as well as screening Calabuch. This year we are also celebrating the 10th anniversary of the end of terrorism in Spain, and we are going to organize a film forum in collaboration with Ateneo Libre de Benalmádena, with screenings of films related to the subject and the visit of figures such as Luis Rodríguez Aizpeolea and Jesús Eguiguren. Climate change and the figure of Ramón Sender will be other subjects addressed in the new Cineforum. The Cinema Club started its adventure thanks to citizens who decide to unite their efforts in disinterested way so that Benalmádena could enjoy cinema. This is how the Masmadera Cinema Club was born in 1991 and how it continues 30 years later, showing quality films that are not easy to find in the commercial circuits and making the best cinema available to Benalmádena's citizens.
Costa del Sol Health District is now on COVID health alert level 0, what means that there will be no more time or capacity restriction at the hospitality and nightlife sector, an industry especially affected by the health crisis.
Costa del Sol finally ditched COVID capacity and opening our limits. The health district, which includes Benalmádena among other municipalities such as Estepona, Fuengirola, Marbella, Mijas or Torremolinos, is now on health alert level 0, even though the coronavirus incidence rate is still above 50. The decision was made at a meeting of Junta's Territorial Committee for High Impact Public Health and came into force on Thursday. Although the Costa del Sol Health District has a cumulative incidence rate of more than 50 cases per 100,000 inhabitants in the last 14 days, the committee agreed to move it to level 0 as the other indicators analyzed have improved, including a decreasing number of infections in the last 7 days, a reduced occupancy rate hospitals beds on the wards and intensive care units, and good rates of vaccination and infection tracing. The removal of the capacity and opening restrictions was something highly anticipated by the hospitality and commerce sectors on Costa del Sol, since it allows them to return to the normality that they had prior to the arrival of the coronavirus crisis. Despite the further easing of coronavirus restrictions in municipalities that moved to level 0, Junta de Andalucía has reminded that the use of face masks indoors and in crowds will continue to be mandatory, and that the basic pandemic sanitary measures, such as hand washing and maintaining social distance, will have to be respected. Good news that joined the positive tourism data after the Pilar public holiday bridge weekend that saw many holidaymakers take advantage of the 4-day break. Malaga's tourist hotspots were filled with visitors, living scenes that, except for occasional mask requirements, reminded us to the times before coronavirus. The good weather and the absence of many coronavirus restrictions in some areas of the province helped give a boost to the hospitality business and hoteliers, who once again saw their establishments almost full after 16 months of anti-COVID measures. The first 2 days of the long weekend, Friday and Saturday, around 500 flights arrived at the Costa del Sol airport. In total, there were more than 1,500 aircraft movements, of which 408 were national and the rest international. Malaga's María Zambrano railway station was also working at full steam.
And these are today's headlines. Tivoli workers keep fighting for the park's reopening. Navas visits the works at the Nica Torres Center. New grant from City Hall to the Asís Foundation. The Masmadera Cine Club resumes its screening. Costa del Sol Health District goes into level 0. The weather forecast for the weekend will leave us with skies with intervals of medium and high clouds, temperatures rising and light variable winds tending to westerly. And that's all. Thank you for watching us, and remember, you can stay updated on our website or social media profile on Facebook and Twitter. Have a good night and enjoy the weekend.